All right, let's get into this first story because this is the greatest headline I've ever seen. All right, check this out. This is from local10.com. Wild night in Miami Beach. Women twerk on police car. 2 officers injured. So my question right away is, did the cops get hurt from the twerking?
Undoubtedly.
I'm imagining cops being like, "Stop! Come out with your legs up!" You know.
All right. Well, okay. So this story is actually from March 12th, but I want to read it because now it's actually getting really crazy. They say it was a wild Friday night in South Beach. There were even women who jumped on a police car to twerk. The city is swarming with spring breakers. Miami Beach officer Ernesto Rodriguez, a spokesman for the department, said 2 officers were injured while dealing with a very large crowd near 8th Street and Ocean Drive. So perhaps twerking was involved. While taking a subject into custody, officers were forced to utilize pepper balls to disperse members of the crowd who were disorderly and surrounding officers. Several subjects have been detained. 2 officers were injured and have been transported to the hospital. More police officers are enforcing the rules in the area of Ocean Drive and Collins and Washington Avenues from 5th to 16th Street, including Espanola Way. All packaged liquor sales ceased after 8 p.m. So apparently now what's going on is there's like this crazy curfew. We got this story just from today from The Guardian. More than 1,000 arrests as Miami Beach pushes spring break curfew into April. Police condemned for use of pepper balls to break up crowds. Now apparently over a couple weeks, spring break curfew in place between Thursdays and Sundays. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen all these viral videos that have come out. It's crazy out there.
A little bit of them.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, are they using salt balls as well? That way, maybe they
Salt
can
balls?
season
And
the
pepper
food.
balls?
Yeah. Because a lot of these are happening at restaurants.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Yeah, right.
Fights.
People aren't paying their bills.
Yeah, they're walking
Yeah,
out.
do you see the video? There's like a video where two guys wearing aprons just chasing a dude full speed down the street.
And then he tries to get away. He's like, walking, and then he ducks out. He does like a ninja roll.
Oh, yeah.
And they pin him to the ground and then drag him, and then he jumps out and then he rolls. Dude, what's going on with this, man?
Just don't order as many drinks, just like order what you can pay for. I don't know.
It's
shocking.
It's chaos. Like there's a video. So there's a thread going viral that's talking about how these are not people from Miami. Like Miami did really well. And I guess what some people are saying is that because Florida's basically like no COVID, tons of like no lockdown, tons of people are like, well, then we have to go to Florida because you can't do it in New York or some of these blue states. So they're all coming to Florida. Red state for now, swing state, but red for now, where there's no restrictions and they're just going crazy. Like there's one video I saw where apparently there's like cars in an intersection and then a bunch of women just walking down the street all just stop. And then it's like synchronized twerking. It's like the craziest thing.
I mean, that is going to stop traffic. If you're low on like people to help you cross the street, like just send a lady twerking out there and she'll help divert traffic.
Yeah, if you've got kids coming out of school.
Yeah.
You don't need to hire a crossing guard anymore.
Yeah.
Just
Twerking guards.
twerking guard.
Twerking guard.
Yeah, road twerk. I love it.
So for real, so like why is this happening? I mean, it's just because there's too many people, they're overwhelmed, or
People have been cooped up for too long.
Yeah.
They're sick of, they haven't been twerking for like a year now.
True. That's
So-
fair.
so given the opportunity, they just break out in a twerk.
Yeah,
huh?
it seems like it's supposed to be spring break from school, but a lot of those people, I mean, is school even open? Or people were even
Oh,
in
Dude,
school?
they're
right.
doing online school now, and they're just showing up and twerking in the streets.
It's like I was wondering, you'd think that New York would be the state that would be getting wrecked because they're the one that shut down, but all those people then are flooding to Florida and wrecking Florida.
There's nothing to come to New York for. What are you going to flood New York City for like a hot dog stand? Like
Are the hot dog stands open?
Barely. Yeah, they're
Yeah, no
like
hot
covered
dogs.
in plastic. It's a sad
Really?
sight. Yeah. It's
Are you in New York?
Yeah. Comedy clubs, some things are opening up April 2nd, so we'll see. There's some hope, but it's the city's dead. It's like somebody sucked the soul out of it.
I don't know. I saw a video from a guy who was walking down the street in a really wealthy area saying that it was totally fine.
Oh.
Oh, well, having money helps, I guess.
Yeah. I guess the poor areas that are shut down.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to see the amount of chaos you get from like totally apolitical things like spring break. When there's just enough people who don't care, they go crazy. The funny thing about it is we're probably seeing more like, I guess, anarchy than you see with actual anarchists. Isn't that the weirdest thing? And I mean like left anarchist types. I don't like calling them anarchists because the people who get violent like Antifa, they're not really anarchists. But let me rephrase that. When Antifa goes out, they fight with cops. These people are just like robbing small businesses, not paying bills, shutting down traffic. It's random, you know?
Yeah, it's totally random. They're just like, you know what? I can't twerk over Zoom. I have to
It's
go
true.
out into the street and do
Spread
this.
your legs.
Yeah, man.
Your muscles.
You gotta meet that. You gotta meet that spring
Spread
break
your wings.
boyfriend like in the first couple of days, and then you have a week of hookups.
Yeah, yeah.
1,000 arrests, though.
Smart, yeah.
Check us out. The Guardian says police say they have arrested more than 1,000 people, about twice as many as last year during this spring break season. They say the curfews are necessary to maintain order, according to the local CBS affiliate. City manager Raul Aguila told the news station that he believes visitors have traveled to Miami Beach to engage in lawlessness and anything-goes party attitude. Aguila claimed many visitors are not patronizing local businesses or spending tourism dollars during their time in Florida. The Miami Herald reported that police have utilized pepper balls to disperse crowds several times this spring break season, describing the tactic as balls that are fired at the ground that emit tear gas, forcing people within a certain distance to move to avoid the eye irritant. The Miami Beach Police Chief, Richard Clements, told the paper that officers fired the projectiles because the crowd had begun to surge towards officers. This is crazy. Quote, I think officers felt threatened at the time. He said, adding that at least 5 officers have been injured during spring break this year. Video of large crowds and tear gassing by police in the city have circulated online. It's like on a scale of 1 to 3 of groups that engage in violent and dangerous riots. It's like the most egregious, number 1, is like random people partying, followed by Antifa, followed by like Trump supporters. Just because those are the only groups that are actually engaging this. I think I'm kidding, by the way, because Antifa literally and Black Lives Matter burned down an entire city.
But these people are getting super drunk, and that's when stuff can go haywire. Like the animal comes out.
Yeah. There's definitely a Venn diagram of like people who would throw a chair like through a window, and it's like spring breakers, like Antifa.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I can see the
Antifa on
overlap.
spring break. Do you
Yes.
think these people are Antifa? This is
No.
Antifa
dude.
people need to party too.
They
They
need
need
to
to
chill.
relax.
Everybody got
Yeah.
a party.
Yeah, they got like sticks up their butt.
Yeah.
They really need this. Maybe that's what's happening. Maybe they're so uptight. They show up to this party like thinking they're going to party, but then just everyone's having a good time. And then all of a sudden some dude throws a chair through a window. You know what I mean?
And they've been so covered up for a year. They've been like their costumes or whatever. They're not costumes. They're get-ups. It's
The
like they're all
Antifa.
covered up. They're pale. They need to get out.
True.
They need their
sun.
vitamin D.
No, some of the most destructive riots I've seen, obviously not the most, have been just like sporting events. And then you hear this from a lot of people on the left. They'll be like, how come when, people riot over their sports team winning, it's not all the criticism? Like, dude, we criticize that. It's crazy. I remember when the White Sox won the World Series, like however many years, like a decade ago. Long time ago. Longer than a decade ago. Man, this is probably like 13 years ago.
Huh.
There were crazy stories. Like, my friends were telling me that there was just tons of people in the street on the south side of Chicago, and they're all just like screaming and drunk and like shaking cars and flipping them over. And then he said like a guy was driving down Archer and then just like swerved to dodge the crowd, crashed into a pole, and then jumped out and started cheering, and then ran into the crowd, like leaving his car there. Like, people go crazy.
People get excited for their sports teams. Yeah.
They get. I guess. I have to wonder about this because like, is what really drives things like the Minneapolis when it got burned down? Just random people taking advantage and fluffing up the ranks. You know what I mean?
Probably. Taking advantage. Like these people that aren't paying their tabs, they're eating at restaurants and then jumping.
Yep.
That's big. That's big time.
Is this?
What's that? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I'm just imagine like this is all so pre-planned. You're like ordering. You're like, okay, I don't want to eat too much because when I get into a fight, like I don't want to, have acid reflux.
I don't want to be full.
I don't want to throw it up. I don't want to be full. Like I don't want to puke while I'm throwing someone's head into the sidewalk. Yeah.
Physical activity after you eat a bunch of food. It's like it doesn't feel good. You gotta have a rest period.
Yeah.
So Yeah.
And a lot of wigs coming off. I mean, you got to be prepared. I don't know. It's giving me anxiety just thinking about it.
This is freaking me out.
Yeah. Like what to wear. And I don't know how it happens in these fights. Like the women just end up like partially nude. Like the thongs are out. All of a sudden you'll turn around like they'll be fighting and then someone's like boobs will be out. And you'll be like, how did that? Oh,
What's
God.
happening? It's because they're dressed
It's
to party.
just crazy to hear this.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting it, but I'm not surprised.
I guess people have been locked up for so long, they've gone insane. Like a lot of people are just going crazy.
Yeah.
So like you were mentioning this, but also I think when you factor in there's very few places to actually go, you get critical mass. Now they're just in Miami and they're just twerking and stealing drinks.
And when you have pent up energy, it's like the guys that want to fight are going to go out looking for a fight, and the girls that like want to fight. You know what I mean? You're going out kind of with that energy, or you're like just going to hook up. It's kind of either way.
The fight videos are crazy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of videos. Like there's a big viral thread. There's a lot of racist threads too, because there's a lot of just like people like sharing these specific videos, but there's a lot of different people doing a lot of crazy stuff. It's almost like a sporting event, but just no reason at all.
Right, and there's anti-cop sentiment, I imagine.
Yeah,
yes,
that's a good point.
Because I've read that like the cops, like this has been building up over time. It's obviously not a COVID thing. It's like it's building up over time, and like going back to 2019, a lot of these cops I've read are afraid to basically do their jobs because they don't want to be accused of racist policing.
Yeah, so when you get like people blocking intersections and twerking, and the cops get hurt, I bet there's a lot of people down there. They're probably not super political, but the Black Lives Matter narrative really does permeate everything. So we were at the mall the other day hanging out, and we went to Zoomies, and there was a poster on the wall that was just like, it was the weirdest thing for me to see in a Zoomies. It was like a poster that said, I stand with Black Lives Matter, Breonna Taylor, free healthcare, increasing the minimum wage. And I'm like, I'm in a mall skate shop. What is this? Like, why is there a poster for Black Lives Matter, Breonna Taylor? But also like that I could get, I suppose. But like the Democrat talking points were on that too. And I'm just like, it's kind of weird to see. I don't care, whatever. You can put up whatever poster you want. I don't care. I'm going to buy shoes or something. But it's just like when regular people who normally don't engage in this stuff are getting hit with this, I'm willing to bet there's anti-cop sentiment for sure in these spring break riots where they're just like, F the police. You know what I mean?
Why don't all of us go to Miami right now and start twerking in the street? I think that would help the narrative. How would that?
Why? I got a better idea. Why don't we get the cops to twerk with the people in the street?
That's what we
Twerk
needed.
back.
That
Solidarity.
Yeah, and solidarity, you know.
Like if it's enough twerking, maybe it'll be like a Care Bear stare where like an energy, everyone comes together, and that's how unity happens.
Yes.
Maybe like, you remember when all the cops took a knee during the Black Lives
Yeah.
Matter stuff? Maybe the cops need to take a twerk.
Yeah,
And they should all go out there to apologize for using pepper balls on people. Take a twerk, guys.
Oh, God.
Twerk during the national anthem at a basketball game or whatever. And
It would definitely dissolve tension. It would crack people up.
I'm into
freak people out.
Do you think they're going to cancel spring break next year?
How can you cancel spring break?
I don't know.
You can't cancel it. It's not really a thing. It's like people just showed up. People just went to Florida, and then there was too many people. I'll tell you what freaks me out is like, is this what people do when there's too many people? Somebody messaged us like last week about the Rat Utopia experiment.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever heard of this?
No.
They created the space where they put a bunch of rats in this rat house.
You mean New York City?
Yeah. So basically they made a model of New York. No, I'm kidding. They took like a rat city and they gave them an unlimited supply of food and water and whatever. And they just like went nuts, apparently started eating each other. Some just literally just dropped dead. So like they reproduced, and then eventually they reached like this massive population, but there was still just free food, nothing to worry about. And then the rats apparently started breaking down, going crazy, eating each other and just dying. And so I'm wondering, like, you get too many people, and this is what we see. Like, I was in New York when, I can't remember which New York team won the Super Bowl or something. It was back in like 2012, I think. I don't know. I don't know sports. You guys give me the right year. People were just like throwing garbage cans and trash everywhere, just flipping things over. And it was just tens of thousands of people walking through the streets, just trashing everything for no reason.
Yeah, if somebody else starts doing it, it's easier to
Yeah.
chime in, I guess.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to see the full show, come back to this channel, youtube.com/TimcastIRL, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., where you can leave comments and super chat, and we actually will read your comments on the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you want exclusive members-only content, segments you can't get anywhere else, go to timcast.com, become a member, and we even have full bonus episodes. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.